Hi, I'm Amelia and welcome to my channel So Amelia, where I talk all about making a handmade wardrobe for me and my children. I'm really excited to share this week's video with you. It's one of my favourites to film. I'm just sharing a little bit of a chatty sewing catch up with you all this week. Some things I've been making recently, some purchases and some plans for my sewing over the next few weeks. So do stay tuned till the end of the video because I've got lots of exciting things to share with you all today. So I'm going to get started with some recent makes, and what I'm wearing is one of them. What's behind me is another one, but I'll get onto that in a minute. So this is a fabric I bought from an Instagram de-stash, and I actually had a little bit more as well so that I could make the Tilly and the Buttons Lyra dress. I made a Lyra dress in a Lady McElroy viscose chalet lawn, I think it was called, a very long time ago, and I wear it all the time. So I knew that I wanted to make another one, but it's taken me a little while to find the perfect fabric, and I think this is it. Now the brilliant thing about my last version is that I find myself reaching for it all year long. I think that's partly because of the colour palette, it's a similar one to this, partly because I made the short sleeve version, which may sound a little strange, but as with this one, I will be able to layer this up with a jumper, maybe even a Freya underneath, with tights and boots and all sorts all through the winter months, but also in the summer because this is a lovely lightweight viscose. It will be beautifully floaty for those warmer summer days. So very excited to have made another one. This is actually an Atelier Brunette fabric. I did look at it for a little while and never bought it, but when I saw it on the de-stash page, I knew it had to be mine. And it is a viscose dobby fabric, so it's got a slight texture to the fabric. And I just really love this navy blue color with these browns and creams and beiges. I actually think it's a beautiful, beautiful print. It's called Posie, and sadly it's out of stock in this particular colorway, although I have found it online in what they call a chestnut color. It has more of this brown here for the base color of the fabric. So I was very fortunate to get my hands on some, and I think it has made the perfect Lyra dress. Now on Tilly patterns, I'm usually around about a size 4. That fits my measurements pretty exactly, but the Lyra dress is a slightly oversized shirt dress pattern. Now I do like that more floaty fit, particularly for the summer months, but I did find that the size 4 finished garment measurements looked way too large, so I do size down to a size 3, and I think it's the perfect fit. There's definitely room in there. I do make the waist tie, I make little belt loops for that, and so I do like to cinch it in a little bit, but I can take that off if I prefer to just wear it for that sort of floaty oversized look. But I do find this gives me enough of an oversized look without making the size 4. So I sized down one size, but the only thing I did find with my first version were the sleeves were a little bit tight around my bicep in the size 3, so I did make a 1-inch full bicep adjustment for these sleeves. That was pretty straightforward to do, and it just gives me a little bit more wiggle room in those sleeves. The other one is fine, but this one is a little more comfortable, so that's great, and I'll use that pattern piece going forwards. I did make the short sleeve version again. I just find that so much more wearable for me. Like I said, I can layer it up in the winter or just take the jumper off in the summer, and I've got a lovely floaty summer dress, so really happy with that. The buttons come from Little Rosy Cheeks. Actually, she was selling some vintage buttons at the Stitch Festival one year, and I picked up some of those, and I thought they matched the dress perfectly, so I'm really happy with those. I didn't make any other changes to the dress. I made 2 tiers because I do like the midi length of the dress, and I'm very, very happy with it. Now the next thing I'm going to share with you is a pattern that I made for my daughter, and it is a new pattern released just this week by Victoria at Little Rosy Cheeks, and it is her Mizzle dress. It's such a sweet dress. It is made for sort of jersey fabrics on the top, either French terry, which I've used here, or a cotton jersey, which I plan to use in the summer, and for a woven fabric on the bottom. So I've used a lightweight denim chambray for my version, and both of these actually were remnants that I have had left over from previous projects, so it's great to be able to use those up and to make a gorgeous dress for my daughter. I didn't have enough of this Atelier Brunette French terry to make anything for myself because there was such a little bit left over, but it was the perfect amount to sew up into this long-sleeved Mizzle dress top, and I'm so glad to have it out of my stash and on my daughter in a garment for her. It's a lovely brushed back French terry fabric actually, so it's really snuggly and warm, but it's not too heavy, so she really likes wearing this one. She reaches for it all the time. Now the skirt here is gathered into the bottom of the top, and it's got this lovely little fold over detail which I think looks really lovely, and then the skirt has pockets which my daughter is very, very happy about. It's a really lovely oversized fit, so it's going to fit her for quite a while. She is 4 and I made the 3 to 4 year old size, which fits her really nicely. I will probably make the same size again. I have one planned for the summer because it's just such an easy wearable dress for her. She absolutely loves it. And I'll probably make the same size. It fits her really nicely. There's a bit of room for growth, but it's not too oversized on her. So I can definitely recommend the Mizzle dress pattern. I just wish it came in my size too. Now last week I didn't share a video because it was half term for us and I was busy with the children all week, but the video I shared before that was sharing all of the Liberty fabrics that are currently in my stash, so do go and check that out if you didn't watch it already. One of the fabrics I shared was this one. Now this fabric is probably one of the more recent Liberties to enter my sewing room. I bought it with the lovely Catherine, who is Sew It and Makery here on YouTube and also on Instagram. We went for a little shopping trip, which was just lovely, and I could not leave this fabric in the shop. It is such a beautiful floral Liberty Tana lawn, and I bought 3 meters of it, and the minute I saw it I knew that it needed to become the Know Me 2016. Now I'm sure you've seen this pattern. I have made it myself before in a black fabric, which is great for sort of going out for date nights and things, but I wanted to make a more sort of wearable day dress version of the ME 2016. Absolutely love this version. I cannot tell you how much I'm looking forward to the warmer spring and summer days so I can wear this dress. Now in the big 4 patterns I do size down. I come out at I think a 12 to 14 on the top, and then 14 to 16 on the waist, and then 16 to 18 on the hips. So for this pattern I looked at the finished garment measurements and I did want the bodice to be slightly closer fitting across the bust, so I made a size 10, which is perfect. I really, really love the look of this dress. Now, despite having 3 meters, I could not get the longer length skirt out of this fabric. That's fine actually, because I did want to make it more of a day dress version. So this one finishes just at my knees. I love the big pockets on the side here and the beautiful seam lines in the skirt. I think that's such a gorgeous feature of this pattern, and the curved bodice here is just so beautiful. It is also a fully lined dress. Now I could have lined it in a different fabric, but I had enough of this once I'd cut out the skirt to line it in the Liberty, so that's what I did do because it's just such a lightweight, beautiful fabric to wear for the summer months. So the sleeves also are finished with a beautiful sleeve cap inside, which just helps them to keep their shape. And when I wear it, I prefer to tuck the elastic just underneath, which just gives the sleeves a lovely shape when you wear them. So I'm very happy with that make. I do love Liberty fabric, but I don't love to just see it sitting in my sewing room. I like to make it up into garments as quickly as possible. So this is one I'm very excited to wear once the weather warms up. Right, so those are the things I have been making recently. Not a huge amount, but enough to keep me out of trouble, and I have really, really enjoyed putting these 2 dresses together. I think I'm looking ahead now to spring and summer makes, although you'll see from my recent purchases I have got a couple more cozy things on the cards before the weather warms up. So the first things I've been buying recently are actually from Laura at the Specky Seamstress. I love her bias binding, and she's now started putting out some labels and some washi tape, and I couldn't resist the gorgeous designs of her washi tape. I use washi tape a lot in my sewing room. When I was making this dress, actually, I find that the back and the front of the fabric looked so similar that all I did once I cut out the pieces was just stick a piece of washi tape on the right side of the fabric so that I could keep track of it during the making process. I also love sticking washi tape onto my machine at the seam allowance so I can very easily see where the seam allowance is without using magnets and things, just because I have a computerized machine. I also love using washi tape for just holding labels on before I sew them into garments. Just stick a piece of washi tape over the top and it tears off very easily once the label is exactly where I want it. So I do use washi tape an awful lot. I did purchase 4 rolls of that. They come in a beautiful little multi-pack, and you can buy them on their own as well. So I'm very happy to have those gorgeous sewing washi tapes in my sewing room. Now I love Laura's labels because they have such positive messages. I did put one on the back of this make. Actually, it says it's what's on the inside that counts. And I think sometimes as sewers, when you're constantly measuring your body, you can get a bit in your own head about sizes going up and down. It just happens, doesn't it, with time and with being busy and perhaps not getting as much movement in as I would like. And I think I was just getting a bit caught up in it all. So to have these lovely positive messages on these labels from Laura was really timely, and I was happy to put that into this make, and just to keep that positive message in the back of my mind when I'm wearing this dress. I think that that is so lovely. I have been buying other labels actually. I saw the lovely Adele, who is Sew for Serenity, share some labels by Kylie and Machine and Brooke Gosson. She's done a collaboration with Brooke Gosson and they've made some fantastic labels for children. Again, I just love putting positive messages in my children's clothing so that they can just see it as they're getting dressed in the morning and remember these wonderful things. And so I really couldn't resist buying this package of labels, ready to put in some of my children's makes for the summer. While I was buying these labels, I also saw another packet of labels by Kylie and the Machine, which are sort of inseam labels, and I really like putting those in my clothes. They're quite small, they're little labels, and it's just nice to have that little message on the outside of your clothes sometimes, not just on the inside. So I did add that to my order just to make the shipping worthwhile. So apart from labels, I have also been buying a little bit of fabric. I saw this come up on the Fabric Godmother Instagram feed and I couldn't resist it. It is this Sherpa fleece. It's a bit outrageous for me, but I loved these colours and I just thought that they were quite spring-like. I have been wearing my pogo nip so much on the bike, just in the mornings and the afternoons, fetching the children from school. It's such a lovely warm extra layer to throw on and go. It's great against the wind, especially lined in the bamboo jersey like I did last time, and I just find myself reaching for it every single day. So I thought, do you know what? I think I need to add another one to my wardrobe. So this is going to become a pogo nip pullover. It's the same as the other fabric actually. It's beautifully fleecy and soft on this side, but on the inside it is slightly less soft, and I'm not sure I want that against my skin. So what I'm going to do is, like last time, I'm going to interline the pieces with a lightweight bamboo jersey. I've actually got a grey bamboo jersey that I bought very early on in my dressmaking journey. I don't know why I bought it. I think I had a plan in mind, but when it arrived it just was not the colour I was thinking it would be. So I was quite disappointed, and it's just sat in my stash because I did think it would be good at some point for something. And so I think it will get its day in the sun now. I will use it to interline these pieces because you just won't see the lining, but it will make it cozy and comfortable for me to wear against my skin. I think especially going into the spring, I just wear a lightweight t-shirt and leggings for the school run, and then like to throw on a warm cozy layer on the top. So to have this fabric lined is really important. So that's what that's going to become, another pogo nip pullover, because I love my first one so much. Right, so on with some plans for my sewing over the next couple of weeks. Obviously I have that pogo nip pullover on the cards. There is a pogo nip party coming up very soon. So Gemini Stitches is hosting a pogo nip party. I'll pop her information below. You can go and check out her Instagram and YouTube for more details on that. And I think if I get that finished in time, I'll try and have it up for the 29th of February when everyone is sharing their pogo nip pullovers in a little party over on Instagram, which should be so much fun. So that's one that I'd like to get sewn up in the next week or so, just so I can pop it up in time for that challenge. But I do also have another pogo nip in the plans, and it's actually a pogo nip poncho. So I did mention in my last video that I really would like a waterproof coat for the school run. Thank you to so many of you who put your suggestions in the comments. I had such a great time looking at a whole bunch of patterns, but I decided in the end I think I'm going to try and use the pogo nip pattern because I already have it, and I do have so many patterns it would be good to use them and hack them a little bit if I can. So I'm going to use the pogo nip pattern, and the fabric that I've got is this beautiful Liberty ripstop fabric. And hopefully there's enough. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to make the poncho, but basically I'm going to make it as long as I can. And I think I'm going to do a curved hem, a little bit like the Jarrah sweater by Megan Nielsen that has a lovely curved hem. And then I'll probably do a little bit of a slit up the side just for ease of movement on the bike. Then I'll do the lovely popper placket, and instead of putting the pocket on the back of the pogo nip, I'm going to put a big pocket on the front. That's what I've seen on quite a few ponchos, and I love the look of it, and hopefully I'll be able to pop the raincoat away in its own little pouch as well. But that's kind of the plan for this one, a pogo nip poncho. So again, I think my plans for the next week or so are going to be trying to get those pogo nips sewn up, because it would be such fun to be able to enter both of those in the challenge, but we'll just see how we get on. Life is quite busy with 3 busy children. So ideally I'll get those sewn up in the next week or so. I'm not sure I'll be able to get both made, but that would be fun to be able to enter those into the Pogo Nip Party Challenge. The last plan I have for the next few weeks is one that I have shared before. It's this beautiful Lisa Taylor viscose that I bought for my mother-in-law, and I am going to turn this into the Belle Dress by Stylark Patterns. I've got her measurements in now, and I think I've chosen the size. I'm a bit nervous, so I'm probably going to baste it together first and do a little bit of a fit check before I sew it up for good. But this is going to be the Belle Dress by Stylark, and I'm really looking forward to getting that one made up for her. I don't mind Stylark patterns. The instructions are fairly basic, but there's quite a few online YouTube tutorials that have been made for the Stylark Belle Dress, so I will be having a little look at those before I start sewing this up for her. I mean, I love this viscose so much. I think I need some for myself too. It would make the most beautiful Lyra dress, wouldn't it? But yeah. That is for her. It was her Christmas present, and then I'm going to make it up into a dress ready for her birthday. So that's the next thing on the cards after those Pogo Nip pullovers and ponchos and things. If you would like me to put a video together about how I put the Pogo Nip poncho together, then let me know. I'd love to share the process if that's something you're interested in seeing. So drop me a comment below and let me know if that's something you would like to see. Okay, so I've shared what I've made recently, I've shared some of my purchases, I've shared my plans for the next couple of weeks, and so I'm going to sign off here because I have quite a lot of sewing to be getting on with, it would seem. I'm really excited about getting some things sewn up for the spring and the summer, and I'm excited about getting those Pogo Nips sewn up too, because I think I'll get a lot of wear out of both of those. Do let me know in the comments box below what you have been sewing recently. I'd love to know. It's always so much fun chatting with you all in the comments. And if you would like to see any details about the patterns or the fabrics that I've mentioned in today's video, I do always put links to those in the description box below the video. So just click on that and it will drop down, and hopefully you'll be able to follow those links if you want to see any more details about the patterns and fabrics. Some of them unfortunately I cannot link. This one is out of stock, as I've said, but if I can link it, it will be in there in the description box below the video. Right, that's enough from me. I do hope you've enjoyed today's video, and I look forward to catching up with you very soon in the next one. Have a lovely week full of very happy sewing. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.